If you're interested in my videos, please subscribe. God of War is probably the most popular PlayStation franchise, so it makes sense that it has more than a few cameos in other games. Some of them are PlayStation related and some of them are not. Some of them make too much sense and some of them make no sense at all and are probably in the list of wildest cameos and crossovers. So yeah, let's have a brief look at God of War cameos. Hotshot's Golf Out of Bound. We start the video with one of the wildest ones. Golf is one of the calmest sports ever, and God of War is one of the most action-packed video game franchises. So of course it makes total sense to put Kratos in a golf video game. Their only connection is that the golf game Kratos is in is a PlayStation first party. Hotshot's Golf or Everybody's Golf is a series of golf games starting on the PS1 and it is still ongoing on the PS5. And even though having Kratos here makes no sense, they still went out of their way to keep the characterization of Kratos the same. I love how Kratos has a club that looks like as if it is fused with the blades of chaos. I also love how sometimes Kratos says,
I am the god of golf!
And also his evil laughs are amazing. Heavenly Sword. Heavenly Sword is an action-adventure hack-and-slash video game published by Sony. Some people call it a God of War clone. I can't confirm or debunk that because I haven't played the game yet, but all that matters is that it shares the same genre and publisher with God of War. So it makes enough sense to have a God of War cameo in Heavenly Sword. It is just a small reference. We can just see Kratos' armor and weapon in one part of the game. The Simpsons Game. I mean, who doesn't have a cameo in The Simpsons? God of War is one of the biggest gaming franchises. Of course it will be referenced in The Simpsons. In this case twice actually. Once in a Simpsons game and once in an episode of the show. Little Big Planet games. Little Big Planet is a series of platformers that lets you create your own levels. It is also known for having lots of DLC costumes, and it being a PlayStation franchise, it has lots of packs for PlayStation IPs, God of War being one of them. Soulcalibur Broken Destiny. Soulcalibur is a fighting game series that is known for its wild guest characters. Sometimes it has a different guest character in each version of the same game. For example, in Soulcalibur 2, we have Link from Legend of Zelda in the GameCube version, and Heihachi Mishima from Tekken in the PS2 version, and of course for the Xbox version they had the mascot of Microsoft, Spawn. Wait, what? In a PSP spin-off of the series called Broken Destiny, Kratos is the guest character, and as you can guess from the cover art of the game, it was a big deal. Kratos is even bigger than the main characters. They wanted to sell this game to every God of War fan. Kratos plays similar to the God of War games, a little bit nerfed of course because he is overpowered already. He has some nice dialogues, and yes, you can win the game by just doing square square triangle. Yes, I am really bad at fighting games. Modnation Racers. Kratos was a pre-order bonus for the game Modnation Racers, alongside Nathan Drake and Ratchet & Clank. The game is similar to the likes of Mario Kart and Crash Team Racing. Sackboy is also playable in this game, which means customization, which means with the Little Big Planet DLCs that you have downloaded, you can make this crossover even wilder. Mortal Kombat 9. Now the good one. Putting Kratos in Mortal Kombat makes so much sense. I mean, putting one of the most violent video game characters in one of the most violent video game series? Hell yeah! Just like Soulcalibur Broken Destiny, the moveset of Kratos is heavily based on his moveset in his own games. But this time even better and more accurate. This one is mostly based on God of War 3. I love how we can do the God of War style QTE is here. And also when he wins the first round and his opponent rises for the second round, I love the way he looks at him or her. He thinks the battle is over, so he walks away in the coolest way imaginable. But then he is like, wait, you're still alive? I'll finish you for good this time. We even see this crossover helped Kratos a little bit to seek redemption. Also, we should have modern Kratos in a Mortal Kombat game as well. They were really careful for making this crossover. They were trying to make Kratos as accurate as possible. So when someone tries to do a fatality on him, it is still relatively respectful. He does scream in pain sometimes, yes, but there are situations in which other characters would cower in fear, but Kratos still tries to fight back. And even when you do a babality on him, he still shows his violent side. So yeah, they did their best to be respectful. Meanwhile, in Fortnite, this stuff happens. Robot Chicken. Yes, Kratos was in another series that basically has everyone in it. It's a joke, and it actually is a funny joke about those specific minigames in the old God of War games. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Now the other big one. PlayStation's version of Smash Bros. And I say that as a compliment. In the past, Sony got ridiculed for doing this, but nowadays instead of calling games like this a Smash clone, they are considered a subgenre, platform fighters. And I am happy about that. I said I am really bad at traditional fighting games, so having more games like the Smash series is good for me. Every company with a huge amount of lovable characters need to have a platform fighter. Why don't we have a Disney Smash again? Yes, I love the concept of a PlayStation version of Smash. And of course Kratos is in it. He is one of the main PlayStation characters. Not having him here is like not having Crash Bandicoot in it. Wait. Because platform fighters are relatively more adaptive than traditional fighters, Kratos plays like his own games the most here. Again, his moveset is mostly based on his God of War 3 version, but there are stuff from other games as well, even the PSP games. This game has a rival for each character, and the rival of Kratos is Sweet Tooth from the Twisted Metal series. I don't see much in common for them to see it coming. I mean, they both have fire, and the evilness of them rivaled each other at some point. And David Jaffe worked on God of War 1 and Twisted Metal Black, but still not enough similarities if you ask me. But the reason they start fighting is one of the few ones that actually makes sense. There is a story, but it just exists. They say before Kratos started his war against Zeus with the Titans, the events of this game happened. But the wildest thing about it is that it is canon. Mimi references this game in God of War Ragnarok.
Brother, I've heard my share of stories about your homeland, but I've also heard that you once fought in a tournament.
I fought in many contests.
But this particular one, I heard you did battle with beasts, scoundrels, princesses, the undead, automatons, and history's greatest musician. That's not true, is it?
I would not speak of this.
Fair enough, brother.
Shovel Knight. From another one that makes sense to another one that doesn't make sense at all, but it is still awesome. We have a boss fight against Kratos in the PS4 version of Shovel Knight. After downloading the content and going through a secret path, you can fight Kratos. I love how when Kratos is almost dying, he does the magic attack Poseidon's Rage to destroy some stuff and collect orbs to refill his health bar. When you defeat him, he gives you the Gravedigger's shovel that can be turned into a cool armor that makes your attacks look Kratos-ish. And yes, this one is also canon to both franchises. The Order 1886. This one is a third-person shooter action-adventure game set in an 1886 alternative history steampunk London. It was a PS4 exclusive, so it has references to some PlayStation IPs. In one part of the game, you can see a poster that is a reference to God of War 4, Tearaway Unfolded Crafted Edition. This one is a platformer kinda like Sackboy, which means customization. It was published by Sony, so it included costumes of PlayStation characters like Kratos. Fortnite. Yes, Kratos is in the game. That is probably the biggest crossover in history. Since every character is just a skin, there won't be much changes between each character, meaning Kratos will also do the Fortnite dances, and I don't know what to say. On one hand, it is really funny. On the other hand, my god, the disrespect. And no, this one is not canon. Thanks God. World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth. In World of Warcraft, there are two characters that are a reference to Kratos and Atreus in God of War 4. Guacamelee 2. In Guacamelee 2, we can see another poster that is a reference to God of War 4. It shows this version of Kratos and Atreus as a father and son wrestling duo. Gladihopers. It is a very simple fighting game for mobile devices. Naming your character Kratos will let you use only one of the blades of chaos as your weapon. Borderlands 3. Kratos and Atreus had their references, and it is Mimir's turn now. In one part of Borderlands 3, we can see a boat with a head in it that could be a God of War reference. Death Stranding. This one has lots of cameos of real life people and video game characters. It has a God of War reference as well, but it is very small. Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima, one of the best games ever made, is another action-adventure Sony first party. So there is a God of War reference in it. That tree that Kratos was cutting down in God of War 4 is in this game, with the axe in it. You can also have a God of War themed armor. Horizon Forbidden West. The same tree can be found in Horizon Forbidden West as well. Aloy can also have a Kratos makeup, and you can find totems of Kratos, Atreus, Brock, and Sindri. Astro Bot. Astro Bot, the best game of 2024, is a 3D platformer and is a love letter to the entire PlayStation history. God of War characters are obviously referenced here, and Atreus and Kratos are named Boy and Dad of Boy, which is priceless. Secret Level. Secret Level is an anthology series based around various video game franchises. In episode 15, which was about the entire history of PlayStation, Kratos makes a very brief cameo. And yeah, those were the God of War cameos in other games, and also a few TV shows. If there is one that I am not aware of, feel free to tell me in the comments section below. For the moment, my small God of War videos are over. The only one that is left is one about God of War novels, but I think it would be better to talk about that after I talk about God of War 4, and that is the only small one. The rest are like my God of War 1 and 2 retrospectives. I think I have talked about all the obscure stuff, so all that is left are the rest of the 3D games. So yeah, next time I will finally talk about God of War Chains of Olympus. So if you are interested in my opinions about the rest of the God of War games, or you like to see me do more retrospectives on other video game or cartoon franchises, subscribe to this channel so that you won't miss my next video. I've been Bashir from Retro Cafe, and I thank you all for watching this video.